Yes, so thank you so much for having me at this show this morning. It is indeed very, very important that we continue to engage Nigerians around what is happening in the market. And there's no gainsaying that the macroeconomic stability and various policies of government has indeed helped the capital market to grow. But fundamentally, you also know that the major fulcrum for that growth has been the signing into law of the ISA 2025 by Mr. President. So, from the capital market angle and the capital market family, we remain very grateful to Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for such a magnanimous effect on the Nigerian capital market. Having said that, that has also engineered the progress in the recapitalization of banks in Nigeria. We have raised over 2 trillion naira for banks who had come to the capital market to raise funds. And it is very, very interesting to note that none of the banks that actually had accessed the market within this period had had any under-subscription. And it tells you the strength and the value of the market, the confidence of the market, and indeed the investors. So we believe that the recapitalization exercise will continue to grow while the capital market will continue to provide the necessary avenue for that policy to thrive. And so we believe also that it is a process, and that process will continue. We are beginning to see second-round applications to the capital market to raise more funds, and from the indications that we have, this is also going to be successful. Coming down to the point you raised, or the question you raised around the merger between Union Bank and Titan Bank, it is also instructive to note that that merger had been approved long before now by the Securities and Exchange Commission, having fulfilled all of the requirements required for that merger to take place. They have just received the final approval from their primary regulator, hence the delay in announcing the SEC's approval earlier on. So for us, we are supportive of the central bank. We are supportive of the federal government policies around banking recapitalization, knowing fully well that the value is to create stronger banks to be able to fund the real sector and indeed, at the end of the day, reduce poverty among Nigerians, besides the redistribution of wealth. We are proud to say the capital market is up and doing and strong enough to absorb all of this, because without a strong capital market, this will not happen. Investors' confidence is actually rising. People are beginning to see the effect of federal government policies, macro and micro fiscal policies, in making sure that we have a stronger economy for Nigerians. And that, for us, it's our goal. Our goal as the primary capital market regulator is to make sure that we provide the enabling environment, we provide clarity, and we provide certainty in the way we do things. The investors are very, very important to us, and they are Nigerians. And so it is our responsibility, in furtherance of Mr. President's objective of recreating wealth, redistributing wealth among Nigerians, to making sure that people understand that there is value, that they can actually derive from the capital market, and that value will indeed increase their wealth and well-being, and of course, improve their status in society. So that is exactly what we are doing, and we'll continue to do that, because it is a responsibility that has been, given to us by Mr. President, and we will fulfill that, President, in the hope of achieving our renewed hope agenda for Nigerians.
Yes, definitely a lot of, you guys are really busy right there at the SEC, and, definitely the Titan and Union Bank, that was approved a while back by the SEC. But let's look at the recent approvals in principle I think it's been 1 year now, about a year, since we started regulating, digital assets and the cryptocurrency industry in Nigeria. We've given licenses to about 2 companies now. Is it getting easier, for the SEC to regulate cryptocurrency and digital assets? Would you say it's getting easier at this point?
Yes, again, it still falls back to the quick action by Mr. President in signing the law. The law was actually delivered to the presidency in just about the 18th, 19th of March. And by the 25th of March, 2025, Mr. President has signed that bill into law. And in that law, you have copiously written the responsibility of the SEC in the regulation of the digital asset space. That gives us much more than just a teeth, but an ability to bite, which supports the approvals we had given on the heels of the ISA 2007 for approvals in principle. We had given for the cryptocurrency exchanges, that is for Busha and Quidas in the first instance. And we said what we said at that time, that the essence of a regulatory sandbox is actually to watch and mirror what the activities of these institutions, are, in order for us to be able to create robust risk management frameworks to support both the exchanges and Nigerian investors. And that has happened. So for the past 1 year, we have been taking lessons, critical lessons, that will help us build a better market, a bigger market, and a more robust market, while also making sure that all security checks are in place. So at the time we issue out a functional license, we will have been sure with ourselves and with our partners. And our partners are the ONSA, the EFCC, the NFIU, the CAC, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, amongst several other institutions in this country, that has some, relationship with this entire process, including the FIROS, that is the tax authorities. This is very, very important because we want to create an environment where everybody is comfortable. Everybody understands exactly their roles and what they need to do. And the players are also clear about their responsibilities in this space, within reporting to the central bank, within paying tax to the federal government, within making sure that whatever they do does not breach our sovereign security. And indeed, there are no economic and financial crimes associated with their activities. This is why it is important that we run a robust structure. That structure must be run in collaboration with all of these agencies of government. There is no way that the SEC alone can do that. And that is why it's important that this partnership and relationship is fostered. And that's exactly what we are doing. For one reason, we are all working for the government. We are all working for Mr. President's agenda. And so it must be seen, and it is what it is, that we are working together to achieving oneness and making sure that the operators are clear in their mind that as government, we will do all that we need to do to protect them and to protect the investors who are in it. So this is where we are. We have had several other applications which are going more rigorous process, because in the first instance, for the initial approvals in principle, we did that to stamp our role and our intention to open innovation to Nigerians and to the Nigerian stakeholders. After that, and the lessons we had learned through that process, the process of re-registration of other parties had become more rigorous, and that is why we had not come out with the second cohort. But I can tell you clearly that is going to happen in a very short while. The second cohort will be released so that we can move on and take up the next stage of approval processes with regards to those that we are giving approval in principle.
All right, Dr. Agama, looking at, I'm still talking about, getting a license in Nigeria to, run a cryptocurrency exchange. I've heard in some quarters that getting that license here is quite expensive. And, some feel like that would not allow some, regional exchanges, try and get that license. What do you say to that?
Well, that may not be correct. You see, people review information on the premise of their knowledge. So what has happened with the new ISA 2025 is that we have created what we call, tiers of exchanges. And those tiers of exchanges are in different categories. Why must that happen? Or why are we doing that? We are doing that because we recognize the situation of local and international players. The Nigerian government will in no way disenfranchise its own citizens. And so we must plan appropriately regulation that will help the Nigerian youths who are all innovators, if you want to say it that way, right? Who are yearning to do something new to come into this space. So they all play in different leagues, and those different leagues will be taken care of appropriately. But while we are also saying that, we're also saying that there is strength in combination, there is strength in partnership, there is strength in collaboration. This is important even for the local investors and the local innovators. It is important that you look exactly at what you're doing. Is there a value in partnering? Is there a value in collaborating? Is there a value in coming together to build a stronger institution with stronger governance and stronger structures that will compete favorably with any other institution internationally or wherever? It is not enough to have an idea and to just want to jump in, onto the scale. It is important that we understand that that idea will it run fast. And it's often said, and it's an old adage, if you want to run fast, you can go alone. But if you want to run far, you must go with others. And so that is very, very critical as a way of advice. But if, as an individual, you have the strength, you have the wherewithal to be able to do big business and to compete with others, and you have all that it takes to do so by our regulation and requirements, you are welcome. And we are happy to deal with that. But all said and done, the federal government wants to make sure that everyone is involved. It is an inclusive business. We won't want anyone to be left behind. And whatever regulation we are going to frame around that happening, we will do so, because innovation is also our next name.
All right, so another thing investors are looking forward to in Nigeria, that's the T2 settlement trading. That means the day of trade just takes about 2 days for your trades to get settled, and you can get value, for that. How's the SEC bracing, for this big change? Is it looking favorable?
Yeah, right. I am excited. I'm excited at this turn of event. For so long, we have been on the T3 mode of settlement, which means it takes you 3 days to get your money after you have invested. And we think that we have come of age to reducing that. And we are doing it, scalely. Because what are we saying? We're saying, okay, let's start first with a T+2, which is a T+2 settlement days, which will happen actually on the 28th of November 2025, and we are not going back around it. But just to also let you know, we are moving from T+2 after 6 months in 2026, because we think that people should get their money, as fast as they get their money after doing an investment. And of course, all of the payment systems in Nigeria is about one of the most advanced payment systems in the world. Kudos to the Central Bank of Nigeria. And why would that not happen even in the capital market? So we are saying that capital market, the investors in the capital market, Nigerians should enjoy the benefit of the digitalization of the entire system. And that's exactly where we are coming from, because time is money. And we are excited that that is going to happen. Start happening on the 28th of November, and we'll move forward even to a T+1 and possibly a T+0 as we continue to drive innovation and transformation of the Nigerian economy under the present government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yeah, that would be so nice to make a trade and get value immediately. But before I let you go, sir, what scams do you think Nigerians should be wary of, right now? What trends are you seeing, Nigerians should, secure themselves against?
Yes, that, again, is something that is very close to my heart. And, of course, the federal government does not want anybody to lose money. And so we are saying that people should be wary. First and foremost, if it is too good to be true, certainly it is not true. We must be very, very conscious. We must read, understand exactly what kind of investment these people are talking about. But beyond all of that, registration is a hallmark of regulation. So for every Nigerian that wants to be involved in any investment, first find out from the SEC and ask the question, are they registered? Ask the one that is coming to meet you if they are registered with the SEC, if they have the license of the SEC. I repeat it, the license of the SEC and not that of the Corporate Affairs Commission. The Corporate Affairs Commission will register your business, but does not register your functionality in the Nigerian capital market. So the Nigerian capital market licenses are issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission and no one else. That is number one. Because you have a lot of schemes, pump and dump, fizzling, and of course, providing unreasonable returns. Because it's certainly impossible to provide some of the kind of returns that people are, brandishing everywhere. And those are the things that should catch your attention. Once somebody tells you that, look, we are going to give you something that you ordinarily know is not possible, know certainly that that is a fraud. And it's important that we interrogate people. We should reach out to the SEC. We have most recently issued over 85 notices and advisories to people regarding fraudulent schemes in whatever form. Is it from the real estate angle? Is it from unusual investment schemes? All we have issued license. And we are saying that if you are engaged in a business that has to do with investment and securities, you are expected to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Indeed, Section 3A of the Investment and Securities Act number 2, 2025 strictly speaks to it, that the SEC regulates investments and securities business in Nigeria. And so it is our responsibility as the representative of the federal government to monitor and to moderate this environment. Anyone who is involved in any such activity and is not registered with the commission, the person is in violation of the law. And it's important, if you do not understand, please ask questions. And asking questions means reaching out to the SEC. The SEC has offices in Lagos, in Kano, in Port Harcourt, and the head office in Abuja. We are ready 24/7 to provide those information. And as we drive towards this, the SEC is undergoing serious digitization processes. And those digitization processes will culminate into having a soft code where people can easily, with a short code, be able to ask questions, and also an SEC app that will enable people make inquiries real-time online in order to move this nation forward.
Right.
We won't rest on our hours. The market is moving. The market has, actually gone above 91 trillion. We are believing strongly that we must sustain this and will also improve it. The market infrastructures are getting stronger. Governance is getting stronger. And indeed, we are making efforts to make sure the market operators also are stronger. So in the coming days, a lot of actions will continue to happen in fulfillment of the new law and making sure that Nigerians get benefits of the magnanimity of Mr. President in signing the law as fast as he did. So it is our responsibility as the SEC to deliver, and that we promise we will do.
All right, thank you so much. You heard it there from the SEC boss. If it's too good to be true, stay away from it or ask questions. Thank you so much for coming on the show, sir. Dr. Emomotimi Agama is the Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me too.